What's going on, guys? Welcome to our Final Fantasy Brave X's video, and we got 3 reviews here today. 1, Neovision Awaken Squall, the CG version. Number 2, CG Rinoa, and number 3, CG Knights of Grandshelt or Lasswin. So, Squall's here for us with 400% TDH, 600% cap at EX2, but I mean he's a Neovision Awakening, so that's pretty easily done. Multiple killers. I'm not gonna put them all there because there's a lot. Not all of them, but there's quite a number. And 200% level versus damage passive, 40 times mod boost for some of his abilities. Some of them are more better than others, much better than others. But some of the mod buffs are for like his really old abilities that don't really matter. His SLB, 87% defense and spirit break, 130% fire and dark apparel, 150% beast and human killer. I wish that was for all allies, but that's only for him. One hit, 120 times mod with 50% defense ignore. It's literally the same as Deus. Now the problem with this, the SLB effects only last for 1 turn. He does have the same passives and LB damage like Deus does, and stuff like that. But I don't think he's gonna have the same impact as Deus. I don't know what the modifier is going to be like what the chaining move is going to be like. Like, how is he going to move? Is he going to be fast? Is he going to be slow? Don't know, but I honestly think he's going to be better to go first so that you can give those 87% defense spirit break, and then you can have those higher fire and dark apparels. I think he's just better as a starting than as an actual finisher. I think he's just not going to be as strong as Deus as a finisher because Deus has a lot of other, things going on for him. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and give him an 8 out of 10. Honestly, it really isn't anything super special here. His 80 to 85% breaks and his normal abilities cost Olympus crystals. So that's interesting. That's really interesting. And also, the reason why I didn't even put his LB down is because it's not even worth mentioning. It just does damage in his 30 hits. Not even worth mentioning at this point. Got Rinoa here, Stmr, Final Fantasy only, 50% all killers and 500 flat magic. I wish that had something else on it instead, but 50% all killers is really good, but only for Final Fantasy VIII. That's really unfortunate. The Stmr, 237 magic, 75% avian killer, 75% bug killer, and for only Rinoa, her 7-star form and also this form, 500 flat magic. Pretty good. For both sides, Diabolos summon, 30% dark apparel, 600% cap for TDH and true dual wield because it doesn't mention if it's for dual wielding only. You want to do that? 150% level versus damage passive, 100% magic true dual wield, and also 200% avian and 100% beast and dragon killer, and also 150% human killer. Base form, quad and triple cast, they both have it. Quake and Tornado plus 3 chaining for that. So Quake and Tornado plus 3 chaining has quite decent modifiers. Plus she has Wind CWA chaining if you'd like to have that. The one thing that I thought was the most interesting, and I know it's not the biggest thing in the world, but it's 27 hit tag magic damage. I think it's 150 times. So I mean that's pretty decent. That's pretty decent. I mean, usually when it comes to these kind of finishers who have a Brave Shift form and you want to stay in the Brave Shift form but you only have a few turns, that's pretty decent to sit back on. That's not bad to have as an option. In the Brave Shift form, quad cast, triple cast still, 200% normal and elemental chain speed chaining thing, really almost useless in most circumstances. It's the same as Tifa's Stmr, the Avalanche Tifa Stmr. 500 flat magic and a normal passive is not EX 2 or 3 or whatever. That's pretty interesting. 100 times mod boost for Quake, Tornado, and Apocalypse plus 2. Her Olympus and her Brave Shift form is going to be 400% magic, which is quite good. 375 times mod buff for Quake, Tornado, and Apocalypse plus 2, and also Dark Meteor in her Brave Shift form. 300% magic, stored for 1 cast only, so that's interesting at least. Unfortunately, that looks like that's going to be about it. So let's go into some cons. It looked like a long list there. That's about it. Only 4 turns on a Brave Shift form, so you got to make do with what you got. Meteor and Dark Meteor only has 10 hits, which could just be unique chaining only for her, so I'm assuming you would use this to self-cap Apocalypse if you use 2 of her. Her whole kit hinges on Apocalypse 2 being able to be self-capped or weaved and being like a 4 times, being able to cast this 4 times with a chainer of some kind. Tag chainer or chaining 2 people. It hinges on that, guys, because this could go really badly really fast. So we don't know how it's going to be because obviously they're not in the game yet, so I don't know, I can't test it for you guys, but I know how flare was working. It was kind of hard to weave. I had to invent my own way of using flare for Rubicante, for example, so this might be a same situation where I have to figure it out. So overall, I think she's quite interesting. Is she mind-blowing? Is she gonna be the next meta? No. Unless this works out really well. Unless these moves really work out really well. So I'm gonna give out 2 scores, one now and one in a retrospective type of review score. So her normal score is probably gonna be 8.5. I really like the base form tag chaining thing. That's really unique and kind of like a utility thing for, oh my god, she's brought as a finisher, but now I need a chainer or something, I guess, I don't know. Then you could use that based on the person, be not too bad. Now if this capping thing will work, then she's gonna get a 9. So check back in on this video, guys. If she gets a 9, she'll get a 9 if she gets the if this works out really well and she's able to cap it or self-cap it or whatever you want to do with it. That's how it will work, guys. So 8.5 for normal, 9 if this all works out. Anyways, on to the last Knights of Grandshelt, or Lasswin. Finally, we have the Knights of Grandshelt or Lasswin. Stmr is just 75% demon and human killer when equipped with a katana greatsword. Really mediocre if you think about it. If you think about it in the grand sense of things, plus those 2 are really easily obtained on the JP version at this point, so obviously you probably won't be using their TMR. You should try to focus on getting their STMR. 220 attack, 75% beast and dragon killer, and also for Grand and Night Shelts only 500 fly attack. So for both sides, 500% chain cap, so you need Lightning's STMR. 200% all killers. We'll be getting to more of that soon. 200% TDH, 150% limited burst damage. And then on top of the 200% all killers, an extra 75% beast and 100% demon killer. So they have 300% demon killer. They have 275 beast killer. So that's interesting. With their STMR, they would have 300% beast killer and 300% demon killer. Well, without the STMR, but the beast killer would be satisfied as long as you have their STMR already. So they would have 2 killers already at 300% just by existing with their STMR. That's pretty interesting. I wanted to add this here because it's 5% higher than Aerith, 50% light amp, obviously only one use. And I also wanted to add this because it's pretty interesting. 12 limit burst gauge fill passive, so you don't even have to gear them for any limit burst fill in that capacity. Base form, there's almost nothing mentionable, honestly. There's almost nothing there, guys. So the limit burst in the base form, 20% great sword and peril, 80% defense break, 125% light and peril, 150% limit burst damage, and 200 times light physical damage. So it's a decent move. And then the brave shift form, they have 100. Of course, all the good stuff is in the brave shift form. 144 times light physical bolting strike chain, 160 times non-elemental AMOE chain, 6 LB fill to help out if you really would like to have that. I wouldn't recommend doing that. And the limit burst and the brave shift form is we got 30% great sword and peril, 130% light and peril, and then my 3 stacking thing was incorrect. I really was thinking that they were not going to power creep Sephiroth this badly. Not this badly, but I thought it was going to be 3 stacks so that Sephiroth could still have some longevity, but nope. So finally, Sephiroth, after months and months, he's finally been power crept technically in terms of modifiers, but not. Sephiroth has infinite turns. He does. This guy does not. However, the 220 times mod to start with, 150 times each for 1 time, 370 times light physical damage. Now keep in mind, we're going to be going to the cons right now. He doesn't have infinite turns like Sephiroth does. And he really needs entrusts. For those 4 turns, you really need him to be entrusting him every single turn so that he's using his Zone Burst. It's the same thing like with Reagan back in the day. If you're not using his Zone Burst in his Brave Shift form, you're doing something badly. Obviously, if you're only using 2, if you're using 2 of them, if you're not, then whatever. But that's not the point. You need someone like Galoof. You need someone who's going to be entrusting him every single turn for those 4 turns, or else you're just wasting time and damage. So on the first turn, use his Grandis in his base form, then shift over and start using his Zone Burst right away. Start hacking the enemy down. Katana boosts are pointless. You really want to have a great sword. And Break Gauge ability, like he does Break Gauge when equipped with a great sword, I think, or something. Why would you even care about that? And then 60% damage when equipped when the enemy is broken, with Break Gauge broken. Like, who cares? There's not been a Break Gauge thing in a long time. I don't know. I really don't understand why they have this. This seems really terrible. Why do they have this? That's one of my only flaws, I think. There's not many flaws for them. Because even though they only have 4 turns, guys, you most likely get things done in 3 to 4 turns anyways. So is it really worth complaining about that too much anymore? It's still a con, because I can't think of much other cons for them, but it's still a con, I guess. But it really isn't that big of a deal anymore, guys. You can get things done pretty quick. But you need an Entruster. That's probably the biggest con, or just a tip. Entruster. Bring 2 Entrusters if you need. Galoof and 1 other, whoever else it'll be. Just bring someone to entrust. Seriously. For those 4 turns, you need to be doing his little burst every single. I'm gonna say this several times in this video. You need to be damaging all those 4 turns. All 4 turns you're using his little burst, or else, like, what's the point? His other abilities in his Rage Storm are nice, but it's not as strong as his little burst, and also it's 2 hits, I believe, by the way, so it's even stronger in theory. If you can get it proccing correctly, it's in theory pretty good. So I'm gonna go 9. I think I'm gonna go 9, because actually no, I think I'm actually gonna go at 9.5. I do like the he's a lot better. He'll be a bit easier to equip than Tyvus, because Tyvus has probably some of the hardest. Tyvus is probably the hardest unit to build for as a finisher in the entire game. I think I've shown that off several times in my other videos where I've used him. You have to jigsaw. It's like a puzzle for Tyvus. You gotta jigsaw it up. So this guy probably won't have as big of a deal in terms of that, because yes, he says basically the same thing as Tyvus, with he needs Lightning's Stmr, he needs more little burst damage and stuff like that. But at the same time, he has 200% all killers, and he has 300% 2 killers already with just his Stmr and also just existing. So I think he'll have a better time equipping than Tyvus. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually go to 9.5 just because of that, because he'll have a bit easier time to gear than Tyvus. Tyvus is still good though. Tyvus is still very good if you have the gear for him. Tyvus is still quite good, if you guys are wondering, by the way. Anyways, apologies that this video was a bit later than what you guys usually expect, because I'm being distracted by Dokkan Battle World Tournament going on right now. So if you guys have been wondering about that, yes, I am doing the World Tournament, and yeah, that's about it. So thank you guys for watching. Appreciate all you guys in the comment section down there below. There will be cookies in the comment section as usual, and people seem to be liking that. So yeah, there's cookies down there, guys. Make sure to check them out, and let me know what you guys think about the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.